It's June 2nd, JLD here, and welcome to MSTR Today. In this show, we're talking about how Michael Saylor buys more Bitcoin, the preferred style. Also, we're going to be talking about the truth behind MSTR bulls and bears. I mean, there's just one glaring truth there. Comparing Bitcoin treasury companies is something we'll do today, a great graphic, as well as the greatest comeback in the history of the stock market. We'll analyze that. This video is not financial advice. I do have some epic Michael Saylor video clips coming up, so stick around for those as well. And let's dive on in. All right, and today's first post is coming at you from Michael Saylor, who wants us to know that orange is my preferred color. And keyword here is actually not orange, it's preferred. So, what does he mean by that? Well, we're about to dive into that because guess what? Strategy has acquired 705 Bitcoin for $75 million at 106,495 per Bitcoin, has achieved a Bitcoin yield of 16.9% year to date. As of 6/1/2025, we hodl 580,955 Bitcoin, acquired for $40.68 billion at $70,023 per Bitcoin. MSTR, Strike, and Strife. Now, some people might be scratching their heads and saying, this is a little bit or maybe a lot of bit smaller of a Bitcoin buy than Michael usually does week over week. But guess what? There's a reason. And Adrian says, good morning, everyone. It's Corn Day. Happy to report that Strategy has acquired another 705 Bitcoin, and we now hodl 580,000 plus Bitcoin. They are rapidly closing in on hodling 600,000 Bitcoin on the company balance sheet. The Bitcoin acquisition was made using Strike and Strife ATM equity offerings primarily. And then here's the link. But as you can see, there was 0 shares sold in the common ATM. And in Strike, there was 36 million, and in Strife, there was 38 million. So they are utilizing the preferreds. Exciting times because this is 0 dilution on the common equity shares and the most torque possible through Strife and a ton of torque coming through Strike. So a lot of positive things going on, in my opinion, in the world of strategy. So thank you, Michael Saylor, who says your portfolio needs a strategy. 3-month return, how about 44% compared to everything else, which is not even close? Chris says, if you want MSTR at less than 400, everyone will want MSTR at more than 40,000. And here's the 400 MSTR peeps. You've got Chris, you've got Adrian, you've got Ben, you've got Jeff, you've got Dan. And I did actually reach out to Chris, actually posted below here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's somewhere down there. How do I get my picture on there? Because I'm definitely part of the 400 crew. Give me all the MSTR at 400 I can get. And that's why I'm buying every single day. And then you have MSTR at the 40,000. You have Peter Schiff. You have Jason Calacanis. And I forget this guy's name, but he's a bear. And then Gladiator. Sad to see Gladiator over here, but he'll figure it out at some point. Again, he'll come back to the orange side, so to speak. So good stuff going on here. And the Bitcoin therapist says $20 billion in unrealized profits is insane. Like, I don't think people realize what kind of unrealized profits that strategy is sitting on. TradFi is just absolutely clueless, and I feel terrible for them. I don't feel terrible for them at all, but I feel terrible for some of the reamings that people in TradFi are going to be getting from their bosses when they say, how did you miss this? It is staring you in the face. And the Bitcoin therapist says, on November 21st, MSTR hit an all-time high of $543. It eventually closed the day at $396. I definitely remember that day, by the way. It went to euphoria to like, ooh, okay, we're kind of back down a little bit now. But at the time, they held 331,000 Bitcoin. On Friday, MSTR closed at 366, and they currently hold 580,000 Bitcoin. There's going to be a violent correction. And guess what, my friends? I will be here for it, and I will be holding strategy shares for it. Chris says MSTR solidified its monopolistic status on the day Strike and Strife was launched. The market will catch up and attach the monopoly premium in a couple years. Yes, sorry, it's years because most allocators don't get it yet. They're not all max conviction like Capital Group or Cantor. Not a bad thing. You win bigger. And basically, what people are starting to figure out, and Chris has figured out a long time ago, as have myself and other individuals, Strike and Strife completely changed the game. Michael Saylor is going after the $300 trillion fixed income market with Strife, and he's going to win at a massive level. It's such exciting times. Chris says, comparing popular Bitcoin treasury companies against key metrics. So here you have MSTR, Metaplanet, Semler, Altbag, Cooler, SWC, and you can just see here, these are the holdings. Here's the NNAV. NNAVs are pretty interesting. They're kind of all over the place. The yield quarter to date, and then the yield year to date. Strategy has by far the lowest yield year to date, but guess what? It's because they have by far the biggest holdings, and therefore, every time they add more Bitcoin than any of these companies combined on a weekly basis, which is pretty common, their yield just creeps up a little bit. But we all know, or at least a lot of us know, myself in that boat, who the monopoly is here, who the big winner, who the king is, who the queen is, who the absolute ruler of this world is going to be, and that's MSTR. And I hope and I'm rooting for all these other companies. I hope Metaplanet crushes it and all these others as well, because everybody wins in this Bitcoin treasury world. But man, what are people just missing when it comes to MSTR? A lot. And speaking of MSTR, this is the greatest comeback story in the stock market history. I mean, TradFi Mind cannot comprehend this. I mean, look at this. This was strategy over time. And then the Bitcoin strategy was adopted right here. And here we go. I got on board about right here. I wish I got on board a lot earlier, but I'm not complaining overall. So let's go, Michael Saylor and strategy, as we continue to do this. And we have some great clips of Michael Saylor coming up. So let's roll.
It's a good point. And here's the way I would say it. The difference between money and speculation is, if it's money, then the largest holders are buying more. And if it's speculation, the largest holders are selling. So the real issue is, are the hodlers buying or are they selling? I'll give you an example of great asset classes that are money. Apple stock is money. Apple is buying more, and a lot of people that own Apple stock will buy more. New York City real estate, or London real estate, or Palm Beach real estate, luxury real estate is money, because if you look at wealthy people, they're not selling. There's no one bragging about how they sold all their nice places in Palm Beach, New York, and London. They're buying more, right? If you've ever met a rich family that has real estate holdings, they don't sit around saying, yeah, we're going to diversify and we're going to sell next year. We're going to get rid of the entire portfolio at a huge profit over 10 years. What they say is, I'm looking forward to the next deal where we're going to acquire this building, or we're going to buy this other thing, right? They buy and they hold. And they typically buy and hold to give to their children's children, right? The same is true with art. If it's good art, collectors, Frick, Andrew Mellon, they didn't buy art to flip the art, right? They're not speculators. I bought a Picasso so I could sell the Picasso, right? They wanted to buy them all. That's why they call them collectors. So if something is deemed to be really valuable, you bought $1 billion of it, and your goal is to buy another $1 billion of it. And so if you think about all these things, which thing in the crypto ecosystem is that, right? Bitcoin is that, right? I bought a bunch of Bitcoin. My goal is to buy more Bitcoin, right? It's just a very simple acid test. Do you have an exit strategy, or is that the exit strategy?
Let's be real. If you've ever tried to invest, especially as a beginner, you've probably asked yourself, how do I even find good stocks? What should I buy or sell right now? And seriously, what the hell is going on with the market today? I ask myself those same questions all the time. And that's exactly why I started using Investing Pro, the powerful new platform from investing.com that helps you make smarter investing decisions without drowning in information overload. One of my favorite features, Warren AI. It's like ChatGPT on the stock market, but with real-time data-backed answers straight from investing.com's massive financial database. Want to know why NVIDIA dropped yesterday, or why now is a good time to buy Tesla? Just ask. Warren AI gives you instant, up-to-date insights you can actually act on. I recently asked it where to invest $10,000 right now, and the list of stocks that returned fire, full of actionable ideas I hadn't even considered. Bottom line, if you want to invest smarter, faster, and with more confidence, Investing Pro with Warren AI is a game changer. Check it out now at investing-referral.com/MSTR. Online shopping has never been easier, but this ease is new enough that we remember a time when entering all our credit card info every time we purchased something online was the norm. Luckily, we don't have to do that anymore thanks to Shopify. That's right, that purple Shop Pay button that makes it seamless to purchase online is powered by Shopify. And Shopify doesn't just make it easy to buy, it makes it incredibly easy to start a business no matter your experience. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the US, and they make it super easy to get up and running with beautiful, ready-to-go templates and built-in marketing and email tools. Worried about tracking inventory, payments, and analytics? No stress. Shopify helps you manage it all from a single dashboard. And back to that iconic purple Shop Pay button, it's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/MSTR. Go to shopify.com/MSTR, shopify.com/MSTR.
Here's a distribution of open interest. This is the interest in the options market as a percentage of market cap. And what you can see is maybe people want to trade Tesla and NVIDIA. I mean, they read about them, we speculate about them, we gossip about them. There's something to trade there. But, you know, for the most part, the S&P 500 has very small open interest, and companies that are small in the S&P oftentimes don't have any option market. Billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar companies, there is no option market. And by the way, if your strategy is get rid of all the volatility on the balance sheet, you'll never accidentally make $50 billion like Elon Musk does or like Jeff Bezos does. You'll never accidentally have anything you own trade up. And if your strategy is strip all the volatility from the P&L, we'll just sign our customers to 3-year enterprise agreements and renew them a year in advance and put a CPI or a PPI escalator on it. Once you've done that, the question is, why would I bother to ever trade the stock? I could tune in once a year, make a decision and forget about it. The only volatility you're getting in that case is negative volatility when something goes wrong. And this is how that strategy transforms the performance. Note that by stripping away the volatility from the P&L and the balance sheet, the companies also effectively strip away the performance. And you can see how our company strategy is an outlier here. There's a few sparks, but for the most part, and again, this is the top 500 companies, we're struggling. And another way to say it is most companies, they're struggling to compete and they're dying slowly. 85% of the US listed companies have less than $10 million of options interest. 75% have less than $10 million in daily trading volume. 85% are destined to underperform the S&P 500. So if you're in one of those companies or you're running a company or you hope to start a company, the issue is, how do you break free? How do you actually overcome this structural disadvantage? Everybody in the world talks about AI. If you walk down the street and you ask 100 people, do you think AI is a good idea? Most of them would say yes. Every CEO's got an AI plan. Every investor wants to know your AI strategy. And it's sexy and it's fun and it's critical, but it's not the solution to the problem. AI is not the solution. Why? Well, first of all, because everybody agrees that you should use it. Everybody agrees. It's a consensus idea. Everybody agrees you should use AI to cut your costs, improve your products, and grow your business. We all agree on it. Well, that just means 400 million businesses are all agreeing to use the same technology to do the same thing at the same time, right? Where's your edge? Here's what's going to happen with AI. The rich are going to get richer. The famous are going to get more famous. The powerful will get more powerful, right? This is going to be a big benefit to Microsoft and to Apple and to Google. And to all your famous celebrities, and to Tom Cruise, if you've got a famous brand, if you've got a distribution channel, you're the beneficiary. Those with money and power.
And there you have it, another episode of MSTR Today. And I think we have another very interesting week ahead of us. I mean, we are in a range we just can't seem to jump out of right now. I don't know if we're going to break to the higher or break to the lower, but here's the HODL the line graphic. Like, let's go. We are 28 days away. At the time of me recording this in the morning of June 2nd, we're around 104,000. So, we still have a little buffer for ourselves here, but that buffer has been getting a little bit tighter over the past few days. So let's HODL that line together, because we both know what happens if we HODL the line, when we HODL the line, whether it be this quarter, next quarter, or a future quarter. The inevitable march to MSTR in the S&P 500 continues in a very exciting manner. So let's keep marching towards that. Remember, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and you have been hanging out with JLD here. So I'm honored to be a part of your one of your 5 for these 15 minutes. It's very meaningful. And then, as Michael Saylor loves to say, there is no second best.
What's the second best? There is no second best. Focus your energy. Guard your time. Train your mind. Train your body. Think for yourself. Curate your friends. Curate your environment. Keep your promises. Stay cheerful and constructive. And upgrade the world.